What is going on, everybody? Today we're looking at the Hasbro Marvel Legends Spider-Man, the animated series figures. So first up, we have a VHS packaging once again with Doc Ock and Aunt May. So this looks really cool, of course, with the designs from the Spider-Man animated series from the 90s. So we have Doc Ock where he's much more skinnier in design and stuff, but still looks really cool. And of course, Aunt May there, so Peter Parker's Aunt May. So that looks really cool. As I said, it's the VHS box design, so we have the VHS design there, and our two characters there on the back and what they're going to look like. So both of those look really cool. And of course, we just got in at the same time the Walmart excluded Kraven the Hunter action figure as well. Of course, we had the new Kraven trailer drop, so pretty recent for that, and looks pretty cool again in the animated series style. And that retro card back there for Kraven looks awesome, and a picture of him there on the back with some of his stories, so that just looks really cool as well. So really excited to open up both of these. Awesome, we get two villains for Spider-Man and Aunt May, which is a new sort of figure that we're getting, so it looks pretty cool all together. So let me go and get these open out of the package, and we'll take a look at them together. So let's start off with Doc Ock, whose real name is Dr. Otto Octavius, and he met young Peter Parker when he was a teacher at a science camp that Peter attended, but years later he was working on a battery that worked off cold fusion and used mechanical arms to handle the battery, but there was an incident and the battery exploded, and the extreme heat of the battery fused the arms to Otto's spine and warped his mind. So he now has four metallic arms that he can mentally control to lift heavy weights, squeeze things, and climb walls, and he looks cool here as it is obviously from the Spider-Man the animated series, so it looks a little bit different than we've seen, a little bit thinner, and at least by the design, has abs and stuff, although it doesn't really, still looks pretty big with this design and everything. But he has the horrible haircut, so it's like that bowl cut, which is kind of normal for Doc Ock, but it just looks absolutely horrible with like how puffy it is up top there, so it looks crazy. But it still has the sunglasses, and it kind of has like the cell shading, even though he doesn't really have any cell shading on him, which is nice to go with the animated series, but still looks pretty cool. You can see like his eyebrows sticking up over the sunglasses stuff, and then kind of like an angry face. And then we have his outfit, so pretty much all green, but has yellow up here on the chest plate with a little bit of orange there at the collar, some yellow gloves with orange details, belt with orange details, and then boots as well with orange down the front, and green everywhere else with the nice segmentation stuff, and like I said, the little ab design. And then we have the connection on his back for the tentacles that go in there, so that is pretty cool. And overall, I just love this design because I grew up watching the Spider-Man animated series, so this is how I always saw Doc Ock looking from the beginning. But cool to have him in this sort of figure design, but it does look awkward, and so I can understand some people not liking this design. But we can do the movement, so his head can twist all the way around, and he can look down a little and up a little, so he's got like a dumbbell joint up in his head, so you don't get a whole lot of range in there. And then his neck does also twist around, and I feel it should like rock back and forth, but it pretty much doesn't. It just got very little movement, so you don't get a whole lot of range in there, unfortunately, so you just have the little movement of the actual head itself. But then we go to the shoulders, which may be hard because of his armor piece, but you can kind of force it to get up to 90 there, so you can go up that high, and of course can rotate around within there a little bit. But then we get a bicep twist and the double elbow joint that'll bend up that far, so just about 90. Wrist twist around and hinge up and down for this hand. And then we go to the ab crunch, so don't really see anything in the middle, but pretty much just at the waist can crunch back and forth and can twist all the way around there. Then we go to the hips, that can come up to 90, and out to the side can pretty much do the splits, not all the way, but pretty close. We get the thigh twist all the way around, the double knee joint, that's a little bit stiff it feels like, but can bend up that far to the back, which isn't horrible. I feel there should be a shin twist, but I can't get either shins to twist on this, so I don't know if there is or not, but the foot can flex back and forth and twist side to side. So not the best range movements, but it's not horrible either, works out pretty much just fine, as well as I would expect for Doc Ock. But for accessories, we get some additional hands, so he's got like a grip hand and then a claw hand, and so we get some extra hands with fists, so if you want to have those as well, you got fist in the yellow there. And then of course for him, we have to have his tentacles, so we get the new tentacle design, so we get the 4 tentacles, they're longer, of course have the flexibility so you can do whatever, and then have the like clamps on the end. So I think there's different designs, some are open, some are closed, so we can take and put these into his back with the things here. So let's go and stick them in. So there I got the tentacles on Doc Ock and just kind of moved them around a little bit there, so they just stick in pretty nicely out of the back. And I do believe I've seen people use them like that, they can hold him up in the air. If you get him placed just right, they'll be able to hold his weight, so that is pretty cool. So it's nice to have those tentacles, like I said, the new tentacles with the like longer design and like the different little designs and stuff. stuff to it. And with that, we can also bring in the comic version of Doc Ock. So that we have this one. I think it's like the newer design one of the two. And I think with these, you can also place these in his bag. So if you want to take the tentacles and give them to this version of Doc Ock, the comic version, to have the better range and, you know, better quality and stuff, you can put those in here instead of the ones that he came with. So you can switch those out there as well. But that just looked pretty cool. I love the Doc Ock design. I think the tentacles are a little bit too big, you know, take up a lot of room. So probably have to do something with them or just take them out so we don't take up as much room. But that's still pretty cool to get those new tentacles and stuff. And you can obviously wrap it around characters and all sorts of things like that. But just looks really cool to have this version of Doc Ock. So I absolutely love having this. And in this pack, we also get Aunt May, which is May Parker, the aunt of Peter Parker that raised Peter after his parents' death, along with her husband, Ben Parker. And overall, she looks good, you know, looks like she does from the cartoon. She's an older lady, you know, so they gave her the older face design, so they have wrinkles and everything around her face. And overall, I think she looks fine. You know, looks a little bit way too cartoony to me, which she is from the cartoon, so it makes sense. But just the overall design and look looks way too cartoony. And overall, has the nice, like, hair design, you know, with the little, like, shorter blonde hair design, nice, like, little curls and stuff there at the top. So just overall nice head design overall to make it look like an old worried Aunt May. And then we have her outfit, so she's got this like teal color jacket on over the top with a white button up and kind of like a pink tie in there, and then has purple skirting all the way down to her purple shoes to match, and just looks pretty decent overall. Just looks like kind of like a generic old lady, but like I said, unfortunately it just like looks a little bit cartoony though. But for movements, we can get her head to twist all the way around, and it can look down that far and up that far, so not horrible in the range of movements there. The shoulders do come up to 90 and rotate all the way around. We get the single elbow joint that bends to 90 with the rotation, and the wrist can twist around and flex up and down for the hands. Then we go to the ab crunch. Not sure what she has, but she can crunch back and forth just very little and can twist around at the waist. And then for her legs, it's got the skirting, so you can't really get any access to her legs at all. It's hard to really do anything, so getting her legs to even just stand straight is kind of difficult. But we do have the knees, which we can bend just a little, like, but the skirting's in the way, so you can't really even bend that. So you can see the double knee joints there, unfortunately. So all we really get is the foot that flex back and forth and twist side to side. And like I said, if you kind of force, you can get like the thigh twist to be able to twist the legs a little side to side. So pretty difficult to get up in there for the hips and move the legs around because of the skirting, but you just have to kind of force it to do what you want to be able to get her to stand. Now, accessory wise, all she comes with is some hands, so we get a set of fist hands as well to go along with her open hands there. So pretty cool to have it made. Not a whole lot to her, not anything real exciting or anything, so it kind of makes sense why they threw her in here with Doc Ock, since he comes with all the tentacles and everything. But with having that, we can bring in Peter Parker, so we have the old like vintage style retro cardback Peter Parker we got a while ago, so we can have both Peter and Aunt May there, which is pretty cool. So awesome to have those. But of course, with it being Aunt May with this pack, we can bring in Doc Ock and have him like attacking her or something. So let me see if I can get her wrapped up. So I'm trying the best I can to get her wrapped up, but the tentacles won't stay. I don't know if like if we heat them up, they would get more flexible and be able to stay wrapped around, but I'm trying to get them wrapped around her and it's not working out too well. So unfortunately, it's kind of hard to really get this to play out with him wrapping up Aunt May. I guess you can just try to do the best you can, but it can wrap around her. Like I said, doesn't really do too well for that, unfortunately, so it's hard to really get it to work, but it's still cool that you can at least try to do it, but like I said, it just doesn't work out, unfortunately. And finally, we have Kraven again in the animated series design. His real name is Sergei Kravinoff, and he and his fiancée were attacked by lions while on a trip in Africa, and Sergei was wounded pretty bad, and his fiancée used a wonder drug to heal him, which did work, and he quickly recovered, but his mind was in a state of despair, and he began hunting vigorously. And Kraven's a highly skilled hunter with knowledge of all sorts of animals, and the serum gave him increased strength, agility, and endurance to be able to hunt the different animals. So he looks cool here, like I said, straight out of the animated series with the design. Now this brings a lot of memories back for me because we had a Kraven the Hunter toy, like the old toy from the 90s that looked exactly like this, so that was a toy I played with a lot. So seeing this, you know, just brings back those memories, but overall looks cool, like I said, directly from the animated series. Now his face looks a little bit ridiculous, and we got this on the old Marvel Legends, so this is pretty much almost a repaint of the old Marvel Legends I'll show you, but his mouth and face looks a little bit too crazy with just like the crazy eyes, the mouth wide open showing all the teeth and stuff, but love his crazy eyebrows, the little goatee and mustache and stuff, so that all looks pretty fun with the black hair all slicked back, which is cool. And then he has the jacket of the lion, which looks pretty cool, nice green eyes and the lion face with the fur all going down his back and stuff sticking off the side with like the red design underneath, so like the leather material. Bare arms except for all the way down at the wrist where he's got, I'd say, almost like a zebra design just because the black and white zigzag. He also has an armband on here with some like cheetah print or something, belt around the waist full of teeth, so nice yellow belt with all the teeth, and black pants going all the way down to get more of like that zebra zebra design and the reddish colored leather that matches with the jacket there. So overall, it looks pretty cool. Now, this figure wise is an old figure. It is pretty much just a repaint, so it's still got all the pin joints and stuff, so everything feels a little bit old about it, and just like the quality of the plastic seems old. So I do have some issues with it, but it's still, the look is what really matters. So let's do the moon. So the head can twist all the way around. You have to kind of fight it there around the jacket, but it goes all the way around. You can look down that far and up that far in the back. So pretty good range, a little bit stiff, but good range. The shoulders can come up. You have to kind of force it down, so get up towards the jacket and get it up to 90 there, and then rotate it all the way around. And then we get the bicep twist and the double elbow joint that can bend up that far, so over 90, which is good. Wrist twist around and flex back and forth. Then we go to the ab crunch, as you can see his ab crunch cut out there. So you can crunch a little bit forward and pretty much nothing back. So it's just a little bit. I don't know if it's stuck because it doesn't really even want to go forward too much. So it's just a little bit there, but automatically just like pops back into place. So just a little bit of crunching, and then he can twist all the way around at the waist. And from there we go to the hips that can come up to 90 and out to the side. Thigh twist all the way around, double knee joint that bends up that far to the back, so not too bad. A shin twist at the top of the boot, and the foot flexes back and forth and twists side to side. So the joints aren't horrible and has some limitations to the movements, but nothing absolutely horrible. So overall works out pretty good and looks nice and everything, like I said, especially for that animated design. Now accessory wise, he does come with a spear, is the only accessory he comes with. So all the other Kravens have come with spears, so he does as well. So let's go and stick this into his hand. So there's Kraven with the spear, and that just looks really cool for him. Now we can bring in that older Kraven. As I mentioned, it's pretty much a repaint, so it has a lot of similar designs and stuff, just obviously repainted for the animated design. We just have different boots on this time, so he doesn't have the little shoes on there. He's got boots on now, but overall relatively looks almost exactly the same. Probably used the exact same body, just, you know, repainted the stuff. So that's pretty cool. And just overall, I really like the Kraven. Like I said, I wish he had like a newer body design or something and worked out a little bit better, but overall just looks fun. Like I said, with me having that old figure as a kid, this just brings back a lot of memories of playing with that. So just that alone makes me like this. So with our figures today, we can have Doc Ock and Kraven harassing Aunt May until Spider-Man swings in to save the day. So I got the animated style of Spider-Man here to come in and save Aunt May and fight off the villains. I'll get away from her. And so that's pretty fun and an awesome set to add 3 more figures into our animated style designs with the Doc Ock Aunt May 2-pack with the VHS box design, and then Kraven the Hunter as well. So pretty cool to have all these now added to the Spider-Man animated series collection. So let me know what you thought of these 3 down in the comments, and if you enjoyed this review, let me know with a thumbs up. But I want to thank y'all for watching. I hope you all stay awesome out there, and I'll see you in our next review.